Hey everyone, welcome back to Switch Top. Today we're counting down 50 incredible games on the Nintendo Switch that you absolutely need to check out. These are games that have given me some of my best gaming experiences, and I want to share why each one is worth your time. Let's jump right in. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined delivers a refined take on classic turn-based JRPG design while staying faithful to the heart of the original experience. Combat remains strategic and menu-driven, but modern quality-of-life features like faster battle options, visible enemies, and instant victories against weaker foes keep exploration smooth and well-paced. The deep vocation system allows characters to grow into specialized roles, with added flexibility that encourages experimentation and thoughtful party building. Exploration is built around uncovering mysterious fragments that open paths to different eras, each telling its own self-contained story while slowly connecting to a larger narrative about restoring a forgotten world. These time-shifted chapters give the adventure a strong sense of progression, making every solved problem feel meaningful. Visually, the game leans into a colorful, diorama-style presentation inspired by Akira Toriyama's iconic art, giving towns and dungeons a warm, handcrafted feel. Combined with improved pacing and accessibility options, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined stands out as a long, immersive RPG that rewards patience, curiosity, and smart decision-making.
Take that!
Octopath Traveler 0 delivers a confident evolution of the series' HD 2D formula, blending classic turn-based combat with new layers of strategy and progression. Battles revolve around the familiar break and boost system, where exploiting enemy weaknesses and carefully managing boost points turns every encounter into a tactical puzzle, now expanded with ultimate techniques that reward smart timing. You create your own protagonist and explore a large world while recruiting a wide cast of companions, allowing flexible party setups that encourage experimentation and varied playstyles. Outside of combat, exploration feels more purposeful thanks to a light town-building system that has you rebuilding a ruined settlement, assigning allies to gather resources, and unlocking passive benefits that tie directly into progression. Storytelling is more focused than previous entries, following themes of revenge, loss, and restoration, with multiple character arcs woven into a broader narrative about the world's history. Supported by striking diorama-style visuals, atmospheric lighting, and a strong sense of discovery, Octopath Traveler 0 stands as a deep, methodical RPG that rewards planning, curiosity, and long-term commitment on Nintendo Switch.
My turn. Hot knife ready. Oh, no, here goes nothing. Yes, it did be strong.
Let's end this.
This is our chance.
Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake on Nintendo Switch reintroduces two genre-defining adventures with a modern presentation that enhances their classic structure without losing their identity. Gameplay stays true to traditional turn-based combat, but refined menus, clearer interfaces, faster battle options, and smoother progression make exploration and encounters far more comfortable than in the originals. The first journey focuses on a lone hero descending from Erdrick's legacy, exploring the world of Alefgard, and facing a growing evil through straightforward, yet purposeful combat built around spells, equipment, and careful decision-making. The second adventure expands into a party-based system, introducing multiple heroes from different kingdoms, each filling strategic roles that add more depth and variety to battles. Storytelling has been subtly enriched with additional scenes and connective narrative elements that flesh out the world and its characters, making the overarching legend feel more cohesive. Visually, the HD 2D style blends detailed pixel art with dynamic lighting and layered environments, giving towns, fields, and dungeons a strong sense of atmosphere. NieR Automata, the End of Yorha edition, delivers a striking blend of fast-paced action and thoughtful storytelling that sets it apart from most RPGs on the platform. Gameplay mixes fluid hack-and-slash combat with ranged pod attacks, evasive dodges, and occasional shifts into shoot-'em-up and platforming segments, keeping encounters varied and engaging. Each playable android offers a different approach to combat, with unique mechanics that encourage experimentation and adapt how you tackle enemies and bosses. Progression allows for flexible builds through weapons, upgrades, and chips that customize abilities, letting players fine-tune their playstyle without rigid class restrictions. The world is a haunting, open-ended landscape filled with side quests that quietly expand the lore and reward exploration. Storytelling is layered and unconventional, unfolding across multiple playthroughs that reframe earlier events and dive deeper into themes of identity, purpose, and the cost of endless conflict. Strong art direction, a powerful soundtrack, and smart narrative design work together to create an experience that feels emotionally heavy yet mechanically satisfying.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target in sight! Shadow strike!
Assault hammer!
Nice! Move in and do some damage!
Flame grenade! Almost there! Your strength!
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition brings the Wii U's ambitious open-world RPG to Switch with improved visuals and that incredible sense of scale intact. You're a survivor of Earth's destruction, now living on the planet Mira as part of humanity's last remnants trying to survive. The game gives you a massive, seamless world to explore, filled with creatures both beautiful and terrifying, many towering over you. The real game changer comes when you unlock skells, customizable mechs that transform exploration and combat completely. The class system lets you switch between different fighting styles, and the combat rewards positioning and building up your arts strategically. I spent hours just exploring Mira's diverse continents, from bioluminescent forests to hostile volcanic regions, finding secret areas and taking on enemies way above my level just to see if I could win. The online integration lets you see other players' progress and team up for challenging missions. The story focuses on survival and humanity's place in a universe much bigger than we imagined, with some genuinely surprising twists. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, stands as a benchmark for tactical RPG design on Nintendo Switch, built around deep, grid-based combat that rewards planning, positioning, and smart use of terrain. Battles unfold on isometric maps where elevation, movement range, turn order, and ability synergy all matter, giving each encounter a deliberate, chess-like rhythm. The flexible job system allows characters to learn skills from multiple classes, encouraging long-term experimentation and highly customized party setups that can adapt to different challenges. Modern refinements such as faster battle flow, cleaner menus, improved autosaving, and smoother equipment management help maintain momentum without diluting the game's strategic depth. The story follows Ramza Buell, a young noble drawn into the political chaos of Ivalice, weaving a mature narrative centered on war, class struggle, betrayal, and moral ambiguity rather than simple heroism. Enhanced presentation and voiced scenes add emotional weight to key moments, strengthening the connection between gameplay and narrative.
It is time.
Absolum delivers a fresh twist on classic beat-em-up design by blending fast, side-scrolling combat with meaningful roguelite progression. Gameplay focuses on tight, responsive action where positioning, timing, and combo execution matter, mixing light and heavy attacks, dodges, counters, and special abilities into fluid encounters that reward skill rather than button mashing. Each playable character features a distinct fighting style, encouraging different approaches to combat and making experimentation a core part of the experience. Levels and encounters shift between runs, with upgrades and bonuses that permanently influence how your character plays, adding variety and replay value without feeling random. Between fights, players make strategic choices that shape their build, turning every run into a slightly different challenge. The story is set in a dark fantasy world torn apart by fear of magic, where a growing resistance pushes back against oppression, giving narrative context to the constant action without slowing the pace.
Draconic Ascent!
Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition is a masterpiece of platforming that tells an emotional story about sacrifice, redemption, and restoring life to a dying forest. You play as Ori, a guardian spirit who must restore the forest's balance after a catastrophic event. The platforming is incredibly fluid. Ori moves with grace and abilities like Bash, which lets you redirect enemy projectiles while launching yourself in any direction, create this beautiful, momentum-based movement. The game introduces new abilities at a perfect pace, each one opening up exploration and making you rethink how to navigate previous areas. What hit me hardest was the storytelling. The opening sequence is genuinely heartbreaking, and the game maintains that emotional weight throughout without using much dialogue. The hand-painted art style is breathtaking, with every area feeling alive and distinct. The escape sequences are pulse-pounding challenges that demand perfect execution. The Definitive Edition adds new areas and abilities while fixing difficulty spikes from the original. It's challenging but never feels unfair, always encouraging you to improve your skills. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake on Nintendo Switch modernizes one of the most influential JRPGs ever made, while preserving the structure that defined the genre. Gameplay is built around classic turn-based combat, where planning party actions, managing spells, and understanding enemy behavior remain central. Now supported by smoother menus, faster battle options, and modern quality-of-life improvements that keep the adventure flowing. The flexible vocation system lets you assemble and reshape your party over time, encouraging experimentation with different roles and strategies as challenges evolve. Exploration feels more inviting, thanks to clearer navigation and a refined world map that makes long journeys less cumbersome while still rewarding curiosity. Visually, the HD 2D style combines detailed pixel art with dynamic lighting, depth, and atmospheric effects, giving towns, fields, and dungeons a rich storybook quality. The narrative follows a chosen hero, setting out to fulfill a legendary destiny and confront a looming evil, told with a simple but effective structure that emphasizes discovery, growth, and world-building over heavy exposition. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is the complete package that showcases why this game revolutionized JRPGs. The world is set on two massive titans frozen in combat, the Bionis and Mechonis, and you play as Shulk, who wields the Monado, a legendary sword that lets him see glimpses of the future. This vision mechanic integrates into combat brilliantly. You'll see a devastating attack coming and have seconds to change equipment, position party members, or use specific arts to alter fate. The real-time combat system with cooldown-based arts and positioning requirements creates this strategic flow where you're constantly making decisions. The world design is staggering in scope. Each area on the Titans feels massive and alive, filled with unique creatures, hidden paths, and breathtaking views. What elevates this above other JRPs is how the story tackles themes of revenge, determinism, and breaking cycles of hatred with genuine nuance. The characters feel real, with believable motivations and growth. The Definitive Edition adds the future-connected epilogue, remastered graphics, and a reworked soundtrack. This is epic storytelling done right.
We can definitely do this! Nice one, Ryan! Thanks, Ryan. That was a close one.
Man, what were you doing wandering off by yourself? Stay where I can keep an eye on you.
Animal Crossing New Horizons drops you on a deserted island with nothing but a tent and Tom Nook's getaway package. And from there, you build your dream island community from the ground up. The game runs in real time, synced to your system clock, so seasons change, events happen on actual holidays, and your island evolves naturally over months of play. You'll spend your days catching bugs and fish for the museum, gathering resources to craft furniture and tools, designing your island layout with the terraforming tools, and building relationships with animal villagers who move in. Each villager has their own personality type and will remember conversations, send you letters, and visit your home. The crafting system gives you incredible freedom to customize everything from furniture to clothing, and sharing custom designs online means the possibilities are endless. I found myself checking in daily just to see what was new in the shop or which villagers were crafting interesting items. The multiplayer lets you visit friends' islands or invite them to yours for trading and hanging out. It's a calming experience that rewards creativity and patience rather than quick reflexes. Super Mario Party Jamboree brings the party game series back with the largest collection of boards and minigames yet, fixing many issues from previous Switch entries. You're competing to collect stars on various themed boards, each with unique mechanics and gimmicks that keep matches unpredictable. One board might have you bidding on star locations. Another features a racing element where positioning determines rewards. The dice system returns, where each character has their own special dice block alongside the standard one, adding a strategic layer to movement. The minigame collection is massive, with over 110 minigames that test reflexes, memory, teamwork, and strategy, with new motion control games that actually feel responsive and fun. What got me hooked was how the larger boards support longer matches that let strategies actually develop instead of feeling random. The online play is finally implemented properly, letting you play full board games with friends or strangers without major lag issues. Jamboree mode offers a completely different experience, where 20 players compete simultaneously in a survival-style competition. Splatoon 3 perfects Nintendo's unique take on shooters, where covering territory with ink matters as much as splatting opponents. Set in the Splatlands desert region, with the new hub city Splatsville, you play as an Inkling or Octoling, customizing your look and gear while competing in turf wars and ranked battles. The core gameplay loop of shooting ink to cover ground, swimming through your color to move faster and refill ink, and strategically controlling key areas creates this satisfying back-and-forth flow that never gets old. New movement options like Squid Surge let you burst up walls quickly, and Squid Roll gives you a dodge move, adding more mobility options for skilled players. The weapon variety is incredible, with over 50 main weapons from precise shooters to close-range rollers and long-range chargers, each with different sub-weapons and special abilities that encourage different playstyles. Salmon Run returns as a horde mode, where you team up with 3 others to collect golden eggs from boss salmonids, and it's available anytime now instead of on rotation. The single-player campaign takes you through varied levels that teach advanced techniques, while telling a story about the mammalians. Pokémon Legends Arceus completely reimagines the Pokémon formula by sending you back to ancient Sinnoh, now called Hisui, during a time when people and Pokémon barely coexist, and the idea of training them peacefully is revolutionary. You're a member of the Galaxy Team's Survey Corps, tasked with creating the region's first Pokédex by studying Pokémon in the wild. The game replaces traditional routes with large open zones where Pokémon roam freely in real time. Aggressive ones will attack you directly. Timid ones flee, and you can catch them by sneaking and throwing Pokeballs without entering battle. When you do battle, the turn order system is completely reworked based on speed stats and move styles you can use. Strong style for more power at the cost of acting slower, or agile style for quicker consecutive turns with less damage. Completing Pokédex entries requires observing specific behaviors, like seeing them use certain moves or catching them at particular times, encouraging you to really study each species. The crafting system lets you make your own Pokeballs and items from gathered resources. Noble Pokemon boss fights are frenzied encounters where you dodge attacks in real time while throwing bombs to calm them before battling. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening Remake transforms the Game Boy Classic into a gorgeous, toy-like world with a distinct art style that makes everything look like handcrafted dioramas. You play as Link, who washes up on Koholint Island after a storm and discovers he can only leave by waking the Windfish. But doing so might have consequences for the island itself. The game structure follows the classic Zelda formula of exploring the overworld, finding items in dungeons that open up new areas, and solving puzzles with your growing arsenal of tools. Combat is straightforward, with sword slashes, shield blocks, and various items like bombs and the boomerang. But the puzzle design is where the game shines, with clever uses of each item. What makes this adventure memorable is how the island and its inhabitants feel alive with personality. NPCs have daily routines, secrets are hidden everywhere, and the more you explore, the more you question what's real. The dungeon design is excellent, with layouts that loop back on themselves in satisfying ways once you find the right items. Chamber dungeons let you create and share custom dungeons using rooms you've cleared. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a brutal action platformer that tests your skills with precise combat and challenging level design, inspired by the classic NES trilogy. You play as a ninja warrior, fighting through demon-infested stages filled with traps, platforming challenges, and relentless enemies that punish mistakes. The combat system is all about timing. Your sword strikes need to be deliberate. Enemy attacks must be learned and countered, and the sub-weapons like shurikens and windmill blades are essential for controlling space and dealing with aerial threats. Wall climbing and jumping between surfaces is fluid once you master the controls, letting you navigate vertical sections and avoid ground hazards. What separates this from other difficult action games is how it balances old-school challenge with modern quality-of-life features. Checkpoints are fair, and the difficulty is tough but never feels cheap. Boss battles are intense pattern recognition challenges that require you to study their moves and exploit openings without getting greedy. The pixel art is beautifully detailed, with smooth animations that make every action feel weighty and responsive. Kirby and the Forgotten Land marks Kirby's first fully 3D adventure and completely nails the transition with creative level design and the new Mouthful Mode ability. You're exploring a post-apocalyptic world where nature has reclaimed abandoned human structures, searching for kidnapped Waddle Dees, while uncovering what happened to this forgotten civilization. The gameplay keeps Kirby's classic copy abilities, where you inhale enemies to steal their powers, but now you're navigating 3D spaces with more verticality and hidden secrets tucked into every corner. Mouthful Mode lets Kirby stretch his mouth around large objects, like cars, vending machines, and traffic cones, to gain temporary abilities. Driving the car lets you speed through areas and break obstacles. The cone lets you pierce through walls, and each transformation controls uniquely. The level design brilliantly uses these abilities, with sections built specifically around their mechanics. Combat is simple and accessible, but finding all the hidden Waddle Dees in each level requires exploration and some platforming skill. The upgrade system lets you evolve copy abilities into more powerful versions with new moves. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings back two legendary RPGs that pioneered the concept of recruiting 108 characters to build your own headquarters and army. The first game follows you as the son of a general who becomes disillusioned with the corrupt empire and leads a rebellion, while the second game tells an even more epic tale of betrayal, war, and friendship between nations. What makes these games special is how your headquarters evolves as you recruit characters. It starts as a small base, but grows into a full castle with shops, mini-games, and facilities as more people join your cause. The 108 Stars of Destiny aren't just numbers. Many have their own stories, side quests, and meaningful roles in the war effort. Combat uses a traditional turn-based system for regular battles, But large-scale conflicts play out in strategic army battles where you command units, and one-on-one duels use a rock-paper-scissors system with psychological tells. The writing is mature, dealing with themes of war's cost, political manipulation, and how good people can be corrupted by power. Choices matter, and recruiting certain characters requires specific actions or timing. The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure concludes the Crossbell arc of the Trails series with an emotionally charged story about a special police unit fighting to protect their city-state caught between two powerful nations. You play as Lloyd Bannings, leading the special support section. As political tensions escalate, a dangerous cult emerges, and the truth about Crossbell's history comes to light. The combat system uses a turn-based grid, where positioning matters, attacks have ranges and areas of effect, moving costs turns, and the turn order can be manipulated through abilities and items. The Orb Mint system lets you customize each character's magic and stats by slotting elemental quartz in specific configurations, creating builds that match your playstyle. What hooked me was the world building. Crossbell City feels alive with NPCs who have their own lives, storylines that progress throughout the game and react to major plot events. Side quests aren't just fetch missions, they develop characters and add depth to the world. The game builds on choices from previous Trails games if you have save data, and references events happening simultaneously in other nations. Unicorn Overlord is a stunning tactical RPG that combines real-time strategy with deep character customization and an epic liberation campaign across a fantasy continent. You play as a dethroned prince, gathering allies to reclaim your kingdom from the empire that destroyed it, liberating towns and recruiting warriors to your cause. The combat system is unique. You deploy units that move across the battlefield in real time, but when they engage enemies, it switches to an automated battle where your preset tactics and unit composition determine the outcome. Building effective squads means considering class synergies, formation, positioning, equipment loadouts, and setting conditional tactics that trigger based on the battle situation. Between missions, you'll manage your growing army, forge equipment, and make story choices that affect which characters join you and how certain battles play out. The world map lets you approach objectives in various orders, and liberating areas unlocks new recruits, resources, and story branches. What impressed me most was the presentation. Vanillaware's signature hand-drawn art style brings every character and environment to life with incredible detail and fluid animations.
Behold my might! I trust you! Enjoy this!
How's this?
Victory is ours!
Blasphemous 2 is a brutal Metroidvania set in a dark, religious world filled with grotesque imagery and challenging combat. You play as the Penitent One, a silent warrior navigating through the cursed land of Custodia to prevent a prophesied child's birth. The combat feels deliberate and weighty. You have 3 different weapons to choose from at the start, each changing your playstyle completely, from quick daggers to heavy flails. Parrying is crucial, and nailing the timing to counter enemy attacks feels incredibly satisfying. The platforming is precise, demanding careful jumps and using your abilities like the wall climb to navigate treacherous environments. The world is interconnected beautifully, with shortcuts unlocking as you gain new prayers and abilities that let you access previously blocked areas. The boss fights are intense tests of pattern recognition and patience. I found myself drawn into the lore through environmental storytelling and cryptic NPC dialogue. The pixel art is hauntingly gorgeous, mixing religious iconography with body horror in ways that create a truly unique atmosphere that stays with you. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury gives you 2 excellent Mario experiences in one package. The main game has you running through creative levels with up to 3 friends, using power-ups like the cat suit that lets you climb walls and pounce on enemies. Each stage introduces new ideas, from clear pipes that transport you in full view to circus-themed levels with flipping platforms. The level design is consistently clever, hiding green stars and stamps that reward exploration. Bowser's Fury is the real surprise here. It's an open-world experiment where you explore Lake Lapcat, collecting cat shines, while a giant, furious Bowser periodically emerges to wreak havoc. You can ride Plessy to traverse between islands, and the gameplay shifts between peaceful exploration and intense moments when Fury Bowser appears. The dynamic weather and day-night cycle affect which challenges are available. Collecting enough cat shines lets you transform into Giga Cat Mario for kaiju battles against Bowser. Both modes run smoothly, whether docked or handheld, and the multiplayer makes it perfect for playing with family or friends. Pikmin 4 perfects the series formula with the most content-rich and accessible entry yet. You're part of a rescue team searching for castaways on a mysterious planet, commanding Pikmin tiny plant creatures with different abilities to overcome obstacles and fight wildlife. The red Pikmin are fire-resistant, blues can survive underwater, yellows conduct electricity and throw high, and so on. Your new companion Ochi, a space dog, completely changes how you approach challenges by carrying Pikmin, breaking walls, and even swimming with your squad on his back. The game balances time management with exploration. You have until sunset each day to accomplish your goals before retreating to safety. Night expeditions add tension as you defend bases against waves of enemies using only glow Pikmin. The Dandori battles are puzzle-like challenges where you compete to collect the most treasure in a time limit. Controls feel great in handheld mode with touchscreen support. The game doesn't punish failure harshly, encouraging experimentation. Each environment introduces new hazards and enemy types that require different Pikmin strategies to overcome efficiently. Super Mario RPG brings the beloved SNES classic back with gorgeous visual upgrades while keeping the charm that made it special. Mario teams up with unlikely allies, including Bowser and Geno, to stop the Smithy Gang from taking over the Mushroom Kingdom. The turn-based combat has timed hits. Pressing buttons at the right moment during attacks or defenses increases damage or reduces harm taken. This keeps you engaged during every battle, rather than just selecting commands. Each character has unique special moves, powered by flower points, and you can equip badges that modify stats or add abilities. The world is filled with hidden blocks and secrets that reward exploration. Boss battles require learning patterns and switching strategies based on enemy weaknesses. I loved the humor throughout the game, never takes itself too seriously, with jokes and absurd situations that still land decades later. The remake adds new post-game content and a remix soundtrack that honors the original while sounding fresh. It's a perfect gateway RPG that respects your time while delivering a satisfying 15-hour adventure with plenty of optional challenges. A short hike drops you on Hawk Peak Provincial Park with one simple goal: reach the mountain summit to get cell phone reception. You play as Claire, a bird visiting her aunt at the park, and you're free to explore this charming island at your own pace. The movement system revolves around collecting golden feathers that increase your stamina, letting you climb higher and glide farther. There's no combat or time pressure, just pure exploration and discovery. I found myself talking to quirky characters scattered around the park, helping them with small tasks or just enjoying their stories. You can fish, find hidden treasures, race other hikers, or play beach stickball. The pixel art style with a subtle depth of field effect creates this nostalgic yet modern look. The soundtrack is peaceful and adapts based on your altitude and activities. What hit me was how the game captures that feeling of a perfect day outdoors. The joy of finding a shortcut, the the satisfaction of reaching a tough climb, or just sitting on a bench watching the sunset. It only takes 2 to 3 hours to complete, but it's a memorable experience that reminds you games can be about simple pleasures. Bayonetta 3 takes the stylish action combat the series is known for and expands it with massive demon summons called Demon Slaves. You control Bayonetta as she fights against homunculi threatening the multiverse, traveling to different realities where variants of herself have already fallen. The combat is incredibly deep. You're dodging at the last second to trigger Witch Time slowdown while simultaneously controlling massive demons to fight alongside you. Demon Masquerade lets Bayonetta fuse with her summons temporarily, gaining new weapons and abilities that completely change your combat options. You can equip different demons on each hand, creating countless combat combinations. The action switches between traditional combat encounters, kaiju-scale battles where you directly control giant demons, and side-scrolling sections featuring Jean in spy missions. Boss fights are spectacular multi-phase encounters with constantly shifting mechanics. The story gets wild with multiverse chaos, but the core is about Bayonetta confronting her destiny and protecting those she cares about. The game doesn't hold back on spectacle. Buildings collapse, dimensions tear apart, and you're riding demons through the air. Celeste is a precision platformer about Madeline climbing a mountain while battling her anxiety and self-doubt. The controls are perfectly tight. You can jump, dash once in any direction midair, and climb walls briefly before your stamina depletes. These simple mechanics combine to create increasingly complex challenges that demand pixel-perfect timing and creative problem-solving. Each chapter introduces new mechanics like moving blocks, dash crystals that refresh your dash, or feathers that let you fly temporarily. The game brilliantly uses its difficulty to mirror Madeline's internal struggle. You'll fail repeatedly, but respawns are instant and checkpoints are generous. Assist mode lets you adjust game speed, add extra dashes, or become invincible if you want to experience the story without frustration. I connected deeply with how the game portrays anxiety and depression through Madeline's encounters with part of her, a manifestation of her negative thoughts. The B-side and C-side levels offer brutal challenges for players seeking mastery. The pixel art is beautiful, with subtle details, and Lena Raine's soundtrack perfectly captures each moment's emotional weight. Fire Emblem Three Houses transforms the series by adding a school simulation layer where you teach students at a military academy before leading them into tactical battles. You choose one of 3 houses, each led by a different noble heir with their own perspectives on the world's problems. The monastery acts as your hub, where you build relationships with students and faculty through conversations, sharing meals, and tutoring. These bonds matter in combat through linked attacks and support abilities. The tactical battles are classic Fire Emblem, positioning units on grid-based maps, exploiting weapon triangles and terrain advantages while protecting vulnerable allies. Permadeath is optional, but losing students you've invested time in hits hard either way. The calendar system creates tough choices about how to spend your limited free days between exploring, battling, or resting. What makes this game special is how the 3 routes tell dramatically different versions of the same conflict, with characters you befriend in one route becoming enemies in another. The story tackles themes of leadership, systemic oppression, and whether revolutionary change justifies its costs.
Is that all?
Live Alive is a collection of 7 different stories spanning prehistory to the distant future, each with unique gameplay twists on the core RPG formula. You can tackle these chapters in any order. One has you as a caveman, using only visual storytelling without dialogue. Another puts you in a western town preparing traps for outlaws, while another is a fighter entering a martial arts tournament. The grid-based combat system requires positioning and timing, with each character's moveset designed around their chapter's theme. Once you complete all chapters, a final scenario brings everything together in surprising ways. I loved how each chapter respects your time, lasting just long enough to explore its concept without overstaying. The Shifu chapter teaches you martial arts techniques that you pass to students. The Mecha chapter plays like a sci-fi thriller, and the present-day Wrestler chapter is basically a fighting game. The Remake's HD 2D visuals make the 16-bit style gorgeous, and each chapter has distinct musical themes that match its setting. The game experiments with structure and storytelling in ways that feel fresh even now, proving that anthology formats can work brilliantly in RPGs. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the pinnacle of 2D platforming with level design that constantly amazes. The Snowmads have frozen Donkey Kong Island, forcing DK and friends to travel through 6 worlds to reclaim their home. Each level introduces new ideas and mechanics that are explored thoroughly before moving on. You'll ride minecarts, swim through currents, bounce on mushrooms, and navigate collapsing structures. The Kong partners give you different abilities. Diddy offers a hover jump, Dixie can helicopter spin for extra distance, and Cranky can pogo on his cane to cross spikes. The platforming demands precision, but never feels unfair, with tight controls that respond exactly as you expect. Boss fights are creative, multi-phase encounters that require observing patterns and exploiting openings. What elevates this game is David Wise's incredible soundtrack. Every level has a unique track that enhances the atmosphere perfectly, from serene savanna melodies to intense factory beats. Finding all the puzzle pieces and Kong letters in each level provides serious challenges that test your mastery. Funky mode makes the game more accessible with extra hearts and abilities. Metroid Dread brings Samus back in a tense adventure where she's stranded on planet ZDR after investigating reports of a deadly parasite. You'll explore interconnected areas, gaining abilities that open up previously blocked paths in classic Metroidvania style. The game introduces EMMI zones, sections where nearly invincible robots hunt you relentlessly, forcing you to use stealth and quick thinking to survive. Getting caught means instant death, unless you nail a frame-perfect counter, so the tension stays high. The combat feels incredibly fluid, with melee counters, sliding, and a variety of beam weapons and missiles. Boss fights are intense, pattern-based encounters that demand you learn their moves and exploit openings. The movement upgrades, like the Spider Magnet and Speed Booster, make traversal satisfying as you zip through areas. The story reveals mysteries about the Chozo civilization and Samus's connection to them without over-explaining everything. Sequence breaking is possible if you're skilled enough, rewarding players who experiment. The game runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, which is crucial for the precise platforming and dodging required in later areas. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom flips the script by making Zelda the playable character with a completely different approach to problem solving. Link has been captured, and rifts are tearing Hyrule apart, so Zelda uses the Tri-Rod to create Echo's copies of objects and enemies she's encountered. Instead of swinging a sword, you'll summon beds to reach high places, spawn monsters to fight for you, or create blocks to solve puzzles. The creativity comes from combining echoes in unexpected ways. You can spawn trampolines to launch boulders, use water blocks to carry objects, or create elaborate contraptions. Combat lets you either strategically summon creatures or use sword fighter form for limited direct combat. The dungeons are designed around this ecosystem, requiring you to think outside traditional Zelda solutions. I spent hours experimenting with different echo combinations to find creative solutions to challenges. The overworld has plenty of secrets and side quests that reward thorough exploration. The art style is charming with its toy-like aesthetic. Smoothie crafting gives temporary buffs that help in tough situations. Luigi's Mansion 3 has our green-clad hero trapped in a haunted hotel where Bowser's forces have captured Mario and friends. Each floor has a unique theme with its own boss ghost and environmental puzzles to solve. The Poltergust G00 vacuum lets you slam ghosts repeatedly after stunning them with your flashlight, making combat more dynamic than previous games. Gooigi, your gooey clone, can pass through bars and spikes, opening up clever co-op puzzles even in single player. The suction shot sticks plungers to objects you can then pull with the vacuum, revealing secrets and solving environmental challenges. Almost everything in the hotel can be interacted with: curtains, paintings, furniture, and destroying things often reveals coins or collectibles. The boss fights are creative showcases where you need to figure out each ghost's weakness using your tools in specific ways. Playing with a friend in co-op makes puzzles flow smoothly and adds strategic depth to ghost battles. The Scare Scraper provides randomized floors for multiplayer mayhem. The graphics are gorgeous, with incredible lighting effects and detailed animations. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown puts you in the role of Sargon, a member of the Immortals investigating Mount Kaf, where time itself is fractured. The combat is fast and responsive, with light attacks, heavy attacks, parries, and dodges that flow together smoothly. You'll unlock time powers like Air Dash that lets you dash in any direction mid-air, Shadow of the Simurgh to rewind time briefly, or Dimensional Claw to teleport to walls. These abilities layer on top of each other, creating increasingly complex platforming challenges. The world is massive and interconnected, with shortcuts unlocking as you progress. Memory shards let you take screenshots of puzzles or areas you can't access yet, which is incredibly helpful for tracking where to return later. Combat encounters require reading enemy tells and responding with the right defensive or offensive moves. Boss fights are multi-phase challenges that test everything you've learned. The story deals with honor, betrayal, and the consequences of tampering with time, without getting too convoluted. The Persian-inspired art style is vibrant and detailed. Difficulty options let you adjust parry windows and damage if you want a more accessible experience or brutal challenge.
Gameplay modifiers turning slain enemies into unstable explosives, and much more. Mix and match amulets as you progress through the game to create your own ultimate warrior.
Astral Chain has you playing as a rookie officer in NieR, a special police task force dealing with interdimensional invaders corrupting humanity. The unique combat system has you controlling both your character and a legion, a captured creature tethered to you by an astral chain. You can have the legion attack independently, wrap the chain around enemies to bind them, or use it as a shield. 5 different legion types offer completely different combat styles and puzzle-solving abilities. The Sword Legion does melee damage, the Arrow Legion shoots from range, the Beast Legion lets you ride it and track sense, the Arm Legion breaks shields, and the Axe Legion has heavy armor-breaking attacks. Between action sequences, you investigate crime scenes using Legion abilities to find clues and piece together what happened. The detective sections add variety and make you feel like an actual officer beyond just fighting. The story explores themes of family, identity, and what it means to protect people when the lines between human and monster blur. The anime-inspired visuals are stunning, with fluid combat animations. You can customize your character's appearance and outfit throughout the game.
Let's get 'em!
Octopath Traveler 2 follows 8 travelers across the continent of Celestia, each with their own motivations and stories that occasionally intersect. The turn-based combat revolves around the break system. Enemies have shield points protecting them, and hitting their weaknesses reduces these shields until they break, stunning them for a turn. The boost mechanic lets you save up points to power up your next action, adding strategic depth to when you unleash your strongest attacks. Each character has unique path actions for interacting with NPCs. Oswald can mug information, Throne can steal items, Hikari can challenge people to duels, and Temenos can coerce confessions. The day-night cycle affects which NPCs appear and what path actions are available. Jobs let you customize each character's role with secondary classes that create interesting ability combinations. I loved how the stories tackle mature themes like revenge, political corruption, and personal trauma without holding back. The HD 2D visuals make the pixel art pop with gorgeous lighting and depth of field effects. Side quests flesh out the world and often have meaningful narratives. Boss fights demand proper preparation and understanding of the break and boost systems to survive.
What's our plan of attack?
Prepare yourself. My blade sings. It's my turn.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the ultimate version of Nintendo's racing series, with 48 tracks spanning the franchise's history, plus new additions. The anti-gravity sections let you drive on walls and ceilings, completely changing how tracks are designed and creating spectacular moments. You have 42 characters to choose from, each with different weight classes, affecting handling and speed. Kart customization with different bodies, wheels, and gliders lets you fine-tune your vehicle's stats. The item system keeps races chaotic and unpredictable. Nothing's safe when blue shells and lightning bolts are flying. Battle mode returns with dedicated arenas and multiple game types like Balloon Battle and Bob-omb Blast. The controls are accessible enough for anyone to pick up, but have depth for skilled players to master drifting, fire hopping, and using items strategically. Online multiplayer keeps the competition fresh with worldwide tournaments and regional matchmaking. Local multiplayer supports up to 4 players on one Switch with split screen. The game runs at a rock-solid 60 frames per second in single player and maintains stable performance even in 4-player split screen. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom expands Hyrule vertically, with Sky Islands above and the depths below, while transforming the surface with new challenges. Link gains 4 core abilities that redefine how you interact with the world. Ultra Hand lets you grab and attach objects together to build vehicles, bridges, or weapons. Fuse combines weapons with materials to create unique effects and significantly extend durability. Ascend lets you phase through ceilings to reach surfaces above you. Recall reverses an object's movement through time. These abilities combine in countless ways. You can build flying machines, attach rockets to shields for launches, fuse monster parts to arrows for elemental damage, or reverse falling boulders to ride them upward. The Sky Islands feature physics-based puzzles that test your creativity. The depths are a massive underground mirror of Hyrule, filled with powerful enemies and rare resources. Shrines return with new puzzle designs focused on the new abilities. The story follows Link helping Zelda investigate ancient Zonai ruins before disaster strikes, sending you on a quest to find her and stop Ganondorf. Super Mario Bros. Wonder reinvents 2D Mario with the Wonder Flower mechanic that transforms levels in completely unexpected ways. Touching a Wonder Flower might make pipes start walking around, turn you into a Goomba, reverse gravity, shift the art style to resemble Yoshi games, or cause the level itself to sing along with the music. These transformations make every level feel fresh and surprising. The Elephant power-up lets you swing your trunk to attack, spray water to activate plants, and break blocks from the side. The Drill power-up burrows underground or through ceilings. The Bubble power-up shoots bubbles that trap enemies and can be bounced on. Badges add another layer of customization. You can equip abilities like wall jumping, starting with a power-up, or getting a dolphin kick in water. You can play as 12 different characters, including Yoshi and Nabbit, who can't take damage, making the game accessible for less experienced players. The online integration is subtle but clever. You see ghost players who can revive you or cheer you on. Talking flowers scattered throughout levels comment on your actions with funny observations. Shin Megami Tensei 5: Vengeance. You play as a high school student in Tokyo who gets transported to Dot, a demon-infested wasteland that's actually a ruined version of your world. After fusing with a mysterious being to become a Nahobino, you gain the power to fight demons and navigate this apocalyptic realm. The press-turn battle system is incredibly strategic. Hitting weaknesses or landing critical hits earns extra turns, but missing or hitting resistances costs you turns. This makes every decision matter as you balance offense and defense. You recruit demons through negotiation, which involves answering their questions and offering items or money based on their personality. Demon Fusion lets you combine recruited demons to create stronger ones, inheriting specific skills you choose. The new Canon of Vengeance route adds new characters, areas, and a darker narrative path that branches significantly from the original Canon of Creation story. Both routes explore themes of order versus chaos, gods versus demons, and humanity's role in determining the world's future. The open areas of Dot are filled with collectibles, side quests, and powerful demons to challenge. Boss fights demand proper party composition and strategy rather than just high levels. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door has you controlling Mario in his paper form as he searches for the 7 crystal stars to open the legendary Thousand-Year Door beneath Rogueport. Princess Peach has been kidnapped again, but this time the story takes darker turns with genuinely threatening villains and mysteries to uncover. The turn-based combat uses timed button presses during attacks and defenses to deal extra damage or reduce incoming hits, keeping you engaged in every battle. Your partners aren't just there for support. Each one has unique abilities, both in combat and for solving environmental puzzles. Goombella can reveal enemy stats, Koops can retrieve distant items with his shell, and Vivian can hide you in shadows. The badge system lets you customize Mario's abilities by equipping badges that cost BP, creating different playstyles. You can focus on defense, boost your flower points for special moves, or enhance your action command timing windows. The audience mechanic adds a fun layer where crowd reactions during battles can help or hinder you. The game's humor is sharp, with clever writing that works for all ages. Dragon Quest XI's follows the Luminary, a young man who discovers he's the reincarnation of a legendary hero. But the kingdom brands him as a darkspawn and hunts him down. You'll travel across the massive world of Erdrea, gathering allies who each have their own reasons for joining your quest against an ancient evil. The turn-based combat is traditional but refined. With the pep system, characters build up energy during battles and can unleash powerful pep powers when multiple party members are in that state simultaneously. The skill system lets you invest points into different weapon types and abilities for each character, allowing flexible party compositions. You can switch between 3D mode with full exploration or 2D mode that plays like classic Dragon Quest games, which is a neat option for nostalgia. Forging equipment at campsites using recipes and materials you find adds a crafting layer that feels rewarding. The story takes some genuinely surprising turns at the midpoint that I won't spoil, but it kept me hooked for the entire 80+ hour journey. Side quests are plentiful and often tell touching stories about the people you meet.
Fight some more on! Phew.
Trails in the Sky First Chapter is the beginning of a massive, interconnected JRPG series following Estelle and Joshua, 2 young bracers, basically adventurers for hire, who help people with various problems. After their father disappears on a mission, they travel across the Liberal Kingdom, taking on jobs while searching for clues about his whereabouts. The turn-based combat uses a grid system where positioning matters. Characters and enemies have movement ranges, and area of effect spells require tactical placement. The Orbment system lets you slot quartz gems that grant stat boosts and unlock arts, magical abilities determined by which elements you combine. Every town feels alive, with NPCs who have their own schedules and dialogue that changes as the story progresses, making the world feel genuinely lived in. The writing is exceptional, with natural character interactions and political intrigue that builds gradually. Side quests aren't just fetch tasks. They often tie into the larger narrative or develop character relationships. Combat encounters require strategy, especially against bosses who have specific weaknesses and patterns to exploit.
Estelle, look out!
It's not my style to just sit and wait.
There's no doubt that something is stirring.
There are forces in this world that your eyes cannot see.
Sure, watch out!
Hollow Knight Silksong shifts focus to Hornet as the playable character in a new kingdom above Hallownest called Farloom. You're captured and wake up at the bottom of this unfamiliar land, needing to ascend through various regions while unraveling why you were brought here. Hornet's movement is faster and more aggressive than the knights from the first game. She has a needle that can slash in multiple directions, a heal that can be performed while moving, and unique tools that change how you approach combat and traversal. The thread mechanic lets you bind enemies temporarily or interact with the environment in new ways. Each area introduces new enemy types and environmental hazards that require adapting your strategy. The boss encounters are incredibly designed multi-phase battles that test your mastery of Hornet's moveset. You'll unlock new abilities that open up previously inaccessible paths in classic Metroidvania fashion. The world design encourages exploration with secrets hidden in every corner and multiple routes to your objectives. Side quests involve helping strange characters you encounter, each with their own mysterious goals in Farloom. The hand-drawn art style is even more detailed and atmospheric than the original. Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 delivers two of Nintendo's most inventive 3D platforming adventures in a form that still feels fresh and endlessly creative. Gameplay revolves around gravity-defying level design, where Mario runs across tiny planets, rotating structures, and floating platforms that constantly shift how movement and momentum work. Each galaxy is built around tightly crafted challenges focused on precise jumps, smart camera control, and creative use of space, making every Power Star feel earned rather than handed out. Classic power-ups like Bee Mario, Ice Mario, and Cloud Mario introduce new traversal mechanics that change how you approach puzzles and platforming sections without overstaying their welcome. While the story is light and mostly serves as motivation, the cosmic setting, music, and characters add charm and atmosphere, especially through Rosalina's quiet narrative moments in the first adventure. Visual enhancements and smoother presentation help the games feel right at home on Switch, while optional assist features make the experience more accessible without diluting the challenge. Hades 2 expands on the fast-paced roguelite formula, with deeper systems, sharper combat, and a strong sense of narrative momentum that carries across every run. Gameplay is built around responsive isometric combat, where positioning, timing, and build choices matter, mixing melee strikes, ranged attacks, dashes, and spell casting into fluid encounters that reward skill and adaptability. New mechanics such as magic-based Omega attacks and flexible Arcana cards add more control over how each run develops, encouraging experimentation with different playstyles rather than relying on a single optimal build. Progression is tightly woven into the loop, with permanent upgrades, weapons, and tools unlocked between attempts, making failure feel like forward movement instead of a setback. The story follows Malinois, Princess of the Underworld, as she battles through myth-inspired realms to challenge a powerful threat tied to time itself, with character interactions and evolving dialogue gradually unfolding alongside gameplay. Strong art direction, impactful music, and constant narrative callbacks give weight to repeated runs, making each attempt feel purposeful. Persona 5 Royal is the ultimate version of one of gaming's most stylish JRPGs, putting you in the role of a high school student who gains the power to enter people's cognitions and change their corrupt hearts. You and your friends form the Phantom Thieves, targeting adults who abuse their power while balancing normal teenage life. The calendar system makes every day matter. You choose how to spend your time between strengthening confidant relationships, improving social stats, or infiltrating palaces. The turn-based combat revolves around exploiting enemy weaknesses to gain extra turns, then following up with an all-out attack when all enemies are downed. Personas are the manifestation of your inner self, and you can collect hundreds through negotiation or fusion to build the perfect team for any situation. Each palace is a unique dungeon, themed around its owner's twisted desires. A castle for someone who sees themselves as king, a bank for someone obsessed with money. The confidant social links aren't just for story. They unlock powerful abilities like baton passing to extend combos, or getting second chances when you die. The third semester content in Royal adds significant new story that ties everything together beautifully.
Immune to curse. I had hoped we could end this quickly.
Do it!
Not yet.
Persona! Get wrecked! No good?
Super Mario Odyssey gives Mario a living hat named Cappy, who enables the capture mechanic. Throwing Cappy lets you possess enemies and objects to gain their abilities. You're traveling across kingdoms in the Odyssey airship, chasing Bowser, who's collecting items for his forced wedding to Peach. Each kingdom is a sandbox filled with power moons to collect, ranging from obvious platforming challenges to cleverly hidden secrets that reward thorough exploration. The capture mechanic transforms gameplay constantly. You might become a T-Rex to smash through obstacles, a bullet bill to fly across gaps, or even a fork to catapult yourself. Mario's movement is incredibly fluid, with techniques like cap bouncing, diving, and long jumps that can be chained together for advanced traversal. Some kingdoms are massive, like New Donk City, with its realistic humans and urban environment, while others are smaller, focused challenges. The game never forces you down one path if you can't find enough moons in one area. You can explore elsewhere and return later. Post-game content includes significantly harder moons and new challenges in each kingdom. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 brings together elements from the first two games in an emotionally powerful story about soldiers from two warring nations who discover the dark truth behind their endless conflict. You control Noah and Mio, along with 4 other party members, as they become hunted by both sides after learning too much. The real-time combat system with cooldown-based arts returns, but introduces the interlink system, where pairs of characters fuse into powerful Ouroboros forms with completely different movesets and devastating chain attacks. Class changing lets any character learn abilities from different roles, creating extremely flexible party compositions. The heroes you recruit during the story unlock new classes and fight alongside you, adding variety to combat encounters. Chain attacks are strategic turn-based sequences where you build multipliers and choose the right character abilities to maximize damage. The world is massive, with 7 distinct regions connected by colony settlements, each with their own culture and problems. Side quests are meaningful and often tragic, showing how war affects everyday people trying to survive. The story tackles heavy themes about predetermined lifespans, finding purpose when your future is chosen for you, and whether peace is possible after generations of hatred.
You can never go wrong with Samita.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild drops you into post-apocalyptic Hyrule, where Calamity Ganon destroyed civilization 100 years ago, and Zelda has been holding him back ever since. Link awakens with no memories and complete freedom to explore the massive open world however you want. You could head straight to fight Ganon if you're brave enough. The physics and chemistry systems let you interact with the world in countless ways. Lightning strikes metal during storms. Fire spreads through grass. Ice melts into water. The climbing system lets you scale virtually any surface as long as you have stamina, making exploration feel truly limitless. Shrines scattered across the world contain puzzle rooms that reward spirit orbs used to increase health or stamina. The 4 divine beasts are dungeons you can tackle in any order, each with unique mechanics and a boss fight. Weapon durability forces you to constantly try new equipment rather than relying on one favorite weapon, encouraging experimentation. Cooking combines ingredients to create meals that restore health, boost stats, or provide resistance to environmental effects. The minimal guidance lets you discover things organically. You might spot something interesting on the horizon and just start climbing toward it. These games showcase the incredible variety the Switch offers, from relaxing island life to intense tactical battles. Which of these have you played? Which ones are you adding to your wish list? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to Switch Top for more Switch content. Thanks for watching!